Kingdom Come Denuvo, right? So basically, what I'm looking at right here, I don't know if you guys heard of this thing called Denuvo. It's it's basically supposed to be something that's used to stop the piracy of video games. Now, piracy, if you're familiar or if you're not familiar, I mean, it's basically getting stuff for the free ski. You know what I mean? So basically, not paying for your game, or maybe you getting it from somewhere else for a different type of price, but basically, you're not getting it directly from the people who are actually publishing, developing, making the game. Now, it says fans cancel Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 pre-orders because of Denuvo. All right, so that means people that pre-ordered the game, they see, oh, Denuvo's involved. That's DRM. You probably heard of that before in like the I think Capcom games. A lot of the Capcom games, like the Resident Evils, I was hearing had like DRM, things like that. But I wanted to just go over like, what is this? Like, what is Denuvo? Why is this a big deal? And is this something that you have dealt with and had issues with? So I started looking it up because I'm like, Denuvo, I mean, DRM, I keep hearing about this, but it's not something that I've ever had an issue with. At least I didn't think I had an issue with. So now right here it says Denuvo. Cause I was like, why is Denuvo like controversial? And it said Denuvo has been criticized for high CPU usage and excessive writing, operations on storage components, like SSD cards, like SSD drives if you have a PC. It says the latter potentially causing significant lifespan reductions for solid state drives. I'm not gonna lie, that one hit home for me because I already went through a solid state drive. I built this PC setup like maybe like 3-4 years ago, and I already had a SSD drive burn out basically. Now, luckily for me, I still have access to the files on it, and I still have it installed in my PC, but I had to buy a whole new solid state drive as an add-on. So I can't put any more storage on the original SSD drive that I had. So right now it's just it can't learn anything new. It just has what's stored on it. I can still access it, but I can't add anything to it, if that makes sense, right? So I'm thinking like, damn, if they're saying that because it uses more CPU and it takes up more space on your SSD, like it writes more storage stuff on your SSD, it's gonna basically shorten its lifespan. It's like, damn, like how many SSDs can I really be going through? One, they're not cheap. These are the ones that I buy. They're like 2 terabytes, the ones that I buy. But then also, my PC only has so much space. I'll have to get an external SSD connector or something like that. So I mean, that kind of made me feel like, I don't know how I feel about that. But outside of that, I don't really know about the performance issues really. I was hearing something about what was it? The Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws. No, not Outlaws. I'm bugging. Star Wars. What was it? It was Star Wars Survivor, I think. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Let me see. Denuvo. Did that have Denuvo? Let me see. Let me ask this question. Did Star Wars Jedi Survivor have Denuvo? It says EA removes Denuvo DRM from Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PC. Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment have released patch 9 for the PC version of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which includes the significant removal of the Denuvo Digital Rights Management, DRM. Okay, that's what DRM stands for, Digital Rights Management Software. Now, I don't know if you remember, Star Wars Survivor, like Jedi Survivor, it had like a rough start when they first launched on PC. The frame rate drop was crazy, I'm not gonna lie. And I got a 3090 GPU, and my frame rate was like, it was like in the 20s. It was like crazy. It was nasty work. It was hard to get 60 frames. I think the best I got was like after a while was like maybe in the 40s. You know what I mean? 40s, low 50s maybe. So I guess maybe Denuvo may have had a part in that. I don't know. But anyway, so as I'm learning some more about this, I was like, all right, so let's get some more information about Denuvo, right? Some people have complained about Denuvo, a game protection and anti-piracy technology for a number of reasons, including CPU usage. Basically, Denuvo can use a lot of CPU resources. Storage life. Denuvo can cause a lot of writing to storage components, which can shorten the life of solid-state drives, which is SSDs. Game speed. Denuvo can slow down games. Now, I don't know if I remember seeing something about how they said that with a specific game, they said that the boot up time for that game without Denuvo was like somewhere around like 50 seconds. But with Denuvo, it was a little over 200 seconds. I remember reading that. I didn't really understand what they meant by that, but I guess just booting up the game, like loading time, I guess it increased loading time and things like that. And offline play. Now this one kind of sucks. This one says Denuvo always online DRM prevents offline play. Now, for me, I got one of these. For me, I got one of these like bad boys right here, right? This is a ROG Ally X. This is actually the newest one that just came out this year. It's basically a portable gaming device. I mean, technically, it's actually a portable PC because it uses Windows. But I use it to play like my Steam games for the most part. You know, I could play PC Game Pass on this. I could play my Steam games on it. So when I'm on the go, you know, if I'm just out and about, hanging out with family, or if I'm spending the night somewhere else and the person I'm spending the night with, she falls asleep early, and I'm still up, I got mad energy, then I put on my headphones and I play a game on that. Now they're saying that you're gonna need internet with DRM games. Now, unless you have like some kind of like hotspot, like some kind of like either you have access to wherever you are, unless there's Wi-Fi there, or if you have like a mobile hotspot from like your phone, you know what I mean? Like a mobile hotspot, I guess you're not gonna be able to play a game, which kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I'm thinking if you're on an airport or if you're on a train or on a bus, I guess you can't really play your game on your way to work or whatever. So that kind of, or wherever you're going, that kind of sucks, right? So that's an issue right there that I can see. And then the last one, it says something about false positives. The anti-cheat software can sometimes produce false positives. I don't know what that means exactly. It says some companies like CD Projekt Red have chosen to skip DRM in favor of winning over players. Developers are also exploring other options such as open communication and player education. I don't know what that means, but the first part, if you're thinking like, hey, I'm gonna skip on this software because I don't want players to be discouraged or players to, put their hands up and say, nah, I ain't doing this. I'm not buying this. I don't want to be a part of this. All right. So basically now we know what like DRM is, basically what Denuvo is, why people are exiting from their pre-orders. So let's see what else they have to say about that. Now this is piracy right here. Now here's the thing about piracy, right? Because people are saying, oh, the performance of the game is getting hurt due to the software, but this is the reason why they're doing it, right? Piracy, it hurts the business, right? Because what happens with piracy? Company has product that's being stolen, so they're not making as much money as they were projecting to make, which causes them to not basically make the money. They're not making their money. They're not happy. Making new games in the future, they're gonna get discouraged to do that. They're gonna probably get a lower budget because of that. It means that they're not gonna be able to put as much investment into marketing because of that, which means there's gonna be less people out there that's gonna be aware of the game because of that. It's just like a trickle down domino effect that affects the industry basically. That's the way I see it. It says piracy is a significant problem for the video game industry, causing revenue loss, harming the reputation of the industry, and putting users at risk. Now, at risk, they're basically saying, like, wherever you're pirating the game from, you don't know if it has a virus that might destroy your PC. You know what I mean? Who knows? And then you might look at it and now you have a bad, sure, you got it from somewhere else, but who knows? You had a bad experience, didn't get to enjoy the game because of whatever you downloaded the game with, right? So it says revenue loss. Piracy reduces the number of players who would otherwise buy games, which results in lost revenue for developers, publishers, and studios. So it affects all of them. One study estimates that piracy costs the industry 20% of its revenue. That's 20%. That's a lot of money. You know, if the company was looking to make, let's say, 100 million. No, not even 100 million. Let's say the company was looking to make about $1 billion. That's about 200 million that they lost. That's a lot of money. Reputation damage, user experience. Piracy can jeopardize the user experience by putting users at risk of malware installation or account theft. So it could basically harm not just the people that selling the games, but the people who are trying to be, you know, customers basically. So I mean, I see the reason as to why. As far as DRM goes, the only thing that I can think of that I may have had an issue when it came down to DRM is probably Jedi Survivor. If DRM was on Jedi Survivor when I was playing it, when it was like crazy laggy, I could see that being like, all right, that just gotta get better, right? All right, anyway, let me read this real quick. Try to run through this. All right, so fans canceled Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 pre-orders because of Denuvo. And it says, in every industry you can think of, whether it's movies, literature, theaters, or anything else, there are certain things creators need to steer clear of if they want their works to succeed commercially and reputation-wise. The video game industry is not an exception, having its own fair share of topics, people, organizations, and even software that developers really wouldn't want to associate with to have a shot at success. So that's basically what CD Projekt Red was, I guess, alluding to when they said that, hey, we want to make sure that we don't piss our gamers off. So we're going to avoid it, right? Now, the most notorious piece of software in the context of game development is of course, Denuvo, the infamous digital rights management system from Erdetto that some game studios adopt to make it harder to pirate their titles. While its effectiveness is rarely questioned, what enrages gamers is that the DRM often causes performance issues and lowers frame rates. Yeah, that's something that I figured that was a big deal when I was playing Jedi Survivor. In the games that use it, something Erdetto vehemently denies. Okay, damn. I think I heard this word before, but I've never seen it written down before. Wow. For many, the negative side effects of Denuvo are so hard to overlook that they're willing to turn their backs on their favorite developers and refuse to buy or play their new games. I've seen people on Steam, in the Steam comments, of like certain Resident Evil games. I think it was like Resident Evil 4 when the remake came out. I remember people like this, like, no, I'm not buying this. Capcom is like, the DRM, I can't do nothing. I can't do what I want. Or it's ruining the game, and I'm never buying another Capcom game until they removed. I remember seeing people like really going in. And me, I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what DRM is. I don't understand the problem, but now I know. So, yeah, where was I? To buy or play their new games, even highly anticipated ones. As long as the DRM is present, this is exactly what happened recently to developers Warhorse Studios and publisher Deep Silver. Shout out to Warhorse Studios, man. The first time I made a video about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, when they showed the first trailer, they actually made a comment on my video. And me, I'm a small channel, and they just reached out, said what they had to say. Even the actor that plays, I forgot which one it was. It's the actor that plays one of those two characters. He either plays the character that you play as, or the prince, or whatever you want to call him. It's one of those two characters. He reached out on YouTube in the chat, and I was like, oh wow, that's pretty dope. I think it's pretty cool that they actually are basically getting involved, like boots on the ground. I respect that. Anyway, this is exactly what happened recently to developers Warhorse Studios and publisher Deep Silver, who found themselves under fire following the report that the long-awaited medieval RPG Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would feature Denuvo on launch. Ever since the sequel to the beloved 2018 action RPG was announced and it was revealed that Deep Silver would be the publisher, many fans familiar with the company's history have been worrying that the new Kingdom Come title would be tainted by Denuvo. For those unaware, many of the games published by Deep Silver have suffered at launch because of the DRM, including titles like Metro Exodus, Agents of Mayhem, and Dead Island 2, the latter of which still features Denuvo to this day. With Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's publisher being a company that makes it a policy to use Denuvo, coupled with the DRM's largely negative reputation and the fact that the original KCD had optimization issues even without the anti-piracy software, these concerns become quite easy to understand. I heard KCD, the first one, was rough when it first launched. I played it years later. I literally just played it like earlier this year, and I loved it. I'm not lying. It was rough for me because the combat, I didn't understand, like, why can't I fight? And then once I realized I had to really learn, like in real life, then the game became a lot more enjoyable and it's very immersive. I have a lot of respect for that game. But I can see the concerns here if they're concerned that this second one might have a rough start. And then on top of that, you're going to add an extra like hindrance with the DRM possibly. So I can see people being concerned about that. I understand that. Regarding that policy part, I'm not even exaggerating. Here's what Deep Silver wrote on Steam forums back in 2019. So it says, Denuvo discussion thread. This is to clean up the forum and allow fans to discuss other topics. This is from Deep Silver, apparently. This is the only thread to be used to discuss Denuvo. Please be aware of the rules. Any indication that you are encouraging piracy or plan to pirate the game will result in a permanent ban. Abusing other players will also not be tolerated, and any posting new threads will result in warnings and a ban if this is repeated. Please see the forum rules, pinned posts. All other threads will be merged into this one. Okay, so they're letting you know the rules, I guess. Let's see how much further I got. Let me just run through these real quick. So taking the community's concerns and the anti-piracy system's reputation into consideration, Warhorse Studios and Deep Silver chose not to explicitly mention Denuvo anywhere on the game's Steam page. Okay, so they chose not to mention it, presumably so that the average fan who doesn't spend 4 hours a day reading gaming news wouldn't notice their use of the DRM. However, despite the hush-hush nature of the matter, the fact that Denuvo is featured in KCD2 was confirmed by one Vernon VV from PlayOn, I don't know, the parent company of both Deep Silver and Warhorse. Oh, okay. In what appears to be an accidental reveal, Vernon disclosed the presence of the controversial DRM along with the fact that KCD2 wouldn't be available on GOG on day one, while discussing the rules of online activation and whether the game could be played without internet connection. Alright, cool. So apparently it got leaked somehow by accident by this guy, Vernon V. So it says, hello, thank you for reaching out to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 support. We understand that you have a few queries regarding the game. We're happy to provide some clarification regarding your questions about the game. GOG availability, the game will not be available on GOG from day one. I'm not too sure what GOG means. If you know that, let me know in the comments. Offline mode, yes, you can enjoy the game from start to finish in offline mode on PC. Okay, that's a positive. Because that's one of the concerns of using Denuvo. They say that you have to always be online. But it will require occasional connections as per the platform's rules. Steam, Epic, and Denuvo. Oh, okay, so that's when they mentioned Denuvo, okay. Because they're saying that, yeah, you can play offline, but you're going to need some occasional connections. Okay. Online activation, the game will adhere to the rules of the platform it's purchased on, Steam, Epic, etc., as well as Denuvo. Okay, so that's how it got mentioned. After the screenshot was posted on KCD's Reddit page, serving for many as incontrovertible proof of Denuvo's inclusion, enraged fans quickly made it clear they weren't happy, hitting the devs where it hurts the most, in the wallet, by canceling their pre-orders. Damn, it was like it's really like that? I didn't know it was really that big of an issue, man. removing the sequel from their wish list. I mean, well, I guess people are probably concerned. Like, look, Denuvo is the main concern for me is that it eats up the SSD. That's the only thing that really I care about. Like, it eats up the SSD. If the game just doesn't perform well, it is what it is. But even if it does perform well, the idea of it eating up the SSD faster, kind of, I don't like the idea of that, because I already went through changing one, and I ain't like having to do that. Let's see. Anyway, by canceling the pre-orders, removing the sequel from their wish list, and encouraging others to do the same. To this day, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's discussion page on Steam is filled with displeased comments, all echoing the same concise sentiment: Denuvo equals no buy. So these are comments, I guess, from Steam. Not buying it if Denuvo is included. Optimization. Is combat still garbage? That has nothing to do with Denuvo, by the way. This game will fail. I will not buy without Denuvo. Refunded the pre-order because of Denuvo. Denuvo no buy. Let me be perfectly clear. Before, be aware this game will use Denuvo. Alright, so Denuvo is really a big deal. Alright, last part. As it stands, the revelations from Vernon V appear to be the only concrete piece of evidence of Denuvo being used in the game. While the screenshot could be an elaborate hoax designed to troll the community, considering Deep Silver's history, its Denuvo policy, and the fact that PlayOn hasn't released any official statement denying the allegation, it seems to me that the screenshot is indeed real, and the company prefers to sweep it under the rug by refusing to give it credibility through confirmation or denial. One way or another, it's evident. Well, the screenshot. When was the screenshot? This was okay. It was October 7th. Okay, it's been like damn near 2 weeks. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say if it just happened like a day ago, like give them some time. Let's see. Even that 100% confirmed report was nothing. What the hell was I? Okay. Yeah, one way or another, it's evident that for many, even a not 100% confirmed report was enough to, in their eyes, tarnish the reputation of what could have been a perfect sequel. So, what's your take on the situation? Is the screenshot real? Who is running V? Come forward to clear the air. All right, cool. I mean, what do y'all think? Is Denuvo something that has ruined your experience in a game? Like, you clearly knew that, hey, this ruined experience that I'm having right now, this unhappiness that I'm feeling right now, this unhappiness that I'm feeling right now playing this game is because of Denuvo. Is that something that you felt? Is that something that was very clear to you? Or do you think people are overreacting? As far as the only game that I can recall that clearly they said they had Denuvo and it got removed at some point was Jedi Survivor. And I remember when I got that game, I was excited to play it because the first one was fire. I still enjoyed the second one. Like, it took me some time to get through it in the beginning because the game was really, really rough. Like, the frame rate was disgusting, you know? And I was messing around with the settings, and like the best I can get was like around like the 40s for a large part of the beginning of the game. And then I literally stopped playing the game, and I think I came back to it like maybe like 2 weeks later because I heard there was like some patches that was done. And when I came back to the game, I was able to get above 50 frames per second. And it was a lot more playable. I don't remember what's the highest frame rate I got, but I know over time, the performance of the game was where it needed to be for me to be able to enjoy it. And I enjoyed that game. I had a lot of fun playing Jedi Survivor. Maybe it got better for me because maybe they removed the Denuvo and that's what made the performance better. I don't know. I wasn't really like keeping like tabs on it like that. But I know the game got better over time as performance wise. So maybe it was Denuvo that was ruining my experience in the beginning. I don't know for sure. Do you know for sure for you? If so, let me know in the comments. What was your experience with Denuvo or DRM that may have caused you to get turned off from playing a game, or maybe it made you stop playing a game after you got it because you realized it was bad, or made you just overall just like, hey, if that game has it, I'm not getting it, you know? So, I don't know. But yeah, man, if you like this video, if you learned anything from this, leave a comment, you know, let me know what you learned or what you liked about the video. Hit me with a like button if you enjoyed it, if you're still here. Follow if you're new, or subscribe if you're new. You know, I'm doing gaming stuff and all types of other stuff, you know. if you mess with the commentary, man, show some love, man, with the like button. You know, I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. And this is what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to grow. So come along for the ride if you're brand new, man. I'll catch you guys in the next video.